Purpose Inspired TV is under construction. During this process, we invite you to step into the journey. By joining our team, you have the chance to shape the very fabric of this channel with your creative ideas and skills. We believe that the true essence of innovation lies in collaboration, and together, we can create something truly extraordinary. We will provide content that ignites your passion, inspires personal growth, and encourages a positive impact on society. Our focus is on delivering shows that are entertaining, thought-provoking, educational, and uplifting. We want to hear your voice, your vision, and your recommendations for individuals you would love to see on our channel. We aim to create a channel that resonates deeply with viewers, challenging them to think bigger, dream bolder, and live a life of purpose. So, join us today, and together, we can make a difference, one viewer, one show, and one purpose at a time.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Pray everybody is doing well. Hey, just got something to talk about. Fear. Are you in fear? Are you an American that's in fear? There's so many things that's going on right now. People are constantly saying they don't know from day to day. It's kind of scary to wake up in the morning because you don't know what new changes has happened. Do you still have a job? Are you still getting a paycheck? Are you still getting your benefits? So, yeah, a lot of people are in fear. They are worried or stressed out. And it doesn't even matter what party you're in. It's across the board. Blue, red, purple, green, doesn't matter what party. Don't even matter what your race is. People are going through it. They're living in fear. So it doesn't matter if you're rich, doesn't matter if you're poor. Again, like I said, a lot of people get a lot of their money invested into the stock market. So you don't know if the stock market is going to crash and take all your savings. If you have your money in the stock market, you don't know if your 401k and your retirement and your stock options, you don't know if all those things are just going to disappear. Brown people don't know if they're going to be deported, legally or illegally. So there's a lot of fear going on right now. So what do we do? So we're going to break down on what's really going on, what's causing all this fear, and what we're going to do with it. Is there still hope during this time of all this stress and fear? And some of it, I just call it ugliness. You know, I like to do. Let me get my voice right. I didn't even bring my cup. No, my throat is going to get dry. I got 10 concerns that Americans share across all party lines. It's like the top 10 things that people stress out and worry about. So I ask you, are you worrying about and concerned about these same things? All right, let me go and get started. Number one, economics uncertainty. The fear of job loss. The fear of going to work, we don't need you anymore, or your department is gone. So that's something. You know, I know a lot of people have been waking up or going to work and finding those situations out, that they no longer have a job. That's bad. And on top of not having a job, there's people, um, everybody across the board, inflation and a recession. One day your money is worth something, the next day it's not. Well, so you think your money the same. So when the prices go up, the value of your dollar goes down. You know what I'm saying? So people have that fear, especially job loss. Oh, sorry, Mr. Mike. Put it down. So yeah, if people are in that fear of losing their job, not being able to take care of their family, and not only that is the rising cost of living. So again, that's your dollar. You could still be working. If everything goes up, that's just like you got a pay cut. When everything starts going up, you're getting a pay cut. Your dollar is reaching less, not going as far, not being able to buy as much food. So the housing prices are going up. So you're not being able to get as much housing as you used to. So a lot of people are getting into debt. So they're stressing out. So yeah, it doesn't matter what party you're in. So either party, both parties, all parties are in the same boat with this. Again, like I said, when your dollar is not buying what it used to. A lot of times they're telling the young people, yeah, by the time I was 30, already had a house for 5 years. We're not in those times anymore. The price of houses has quadrupled. The prices is just out of this world. So we can't get on the younger people and complain about. Um, we're not complaining, saying how come they haven't did this, haven't why come they haven't bought a car yet, how come they haven't did all these different things. Things don't cost the same like the way they used to. And then number two, the second thing that people are stressed out about a lot is healthcare accessibility and affordability. So on one hand, do you have healthcare? So that you have the healthcare on your job. You might have different uh, Medicaid and Medicare, and we hear they are on the chopping blocks. That's one of the biggest costs to the country is one of them, but not in giving away stuff. But anyway, that's a high cost for the government is the health care, and you should take care of your people. I think health care should go before having to go to the doctor, the hospital, and having these diseases and all these different things. So I think we should be able to have a country or where we can go to the grocery store and have healthy food. We should be able to buy healthy food instead of buying food that's going to make us unhealthy. Then that's going to lead us to having to go have these medical bills. So yeah, people are stressed out about the medical costs, and then the lack of insurance or the high prices of insurance, fear of getting sick without coverage. So a lot of people are cutting back. A lot of people, again, people are losing their jobs. They lose their job, that insurance goes away. So they don't have the insurance, and then the safety net that we had, they are going away. So that's a concern. And people are worried about it. Like all parties are concerned about that. Other people who have plenty of money, they're not concerned about it. But we're talking about ordinary people, both sides of the party, meaning both sides of the aisle, you would say. So everybody, they're in common. They're concerned about the same thing. Number three, violence and crime. I don't think that big emergency what the government is saying now. Um, well, let me just say, a lot of people they fear about the mass shootings, street crime. People want safety. Yes, they want safety, but it's kind of like it doesn't make sense what the people are doing to try to bring safety. So if they're going to be mass shootings, they're going to have we have mass shootings, and the response is let more people get guns. We need more guns on the streets to deal with mass shootings. Doesn't make too much sense to me. So I don't understand that part. So yes, we're concerned about crime. I guess what there's in the news you hear we're gonna deport millions upon millions of immigrants to help the crime. Mm, but the statistics show that neighborhoods with immigrants, they're some of the safest neighborhoods, especially if they're undocumented. They're going to be even more cautious to stay out of trouble. And a lot of the citizens are the ones that are buck wilding out and thinking that they can do whatever they want to do. So it's kind of flipped. Let's get away from hard. Let's get the hard working people that's helping to keep the economy moving forward. Let's kick all them out of the country. And one of the other reasons they're talking about is the drugs. So a hard-working immigrant taking care of their family, being a good citizen to the society, they are the reason for the drugs. No, it's the people who got the craving for the drug. If there was no craving, if there was no market, if there was no market for the drugs, the drugs would get shut down. So how can you blame working people for people's craving for something? So so many of these things don't add up. All right, number 5. No, I'm sorry. Number 4. Political division and civil unrest. Yes, I know that's on the top of a lot of people's mind. They're seeing this political stuff every day. We've never, well, in my lifetime, I've never seen this much, this this many political, this much political division and the verge of civil unrest. It's just, again, I just say it's unbelievable. Both parties uh, fear that America is too divided to survive. So they have made parties the enemy. Parties are not the enemy. Without those parties, we don't have a democracy. So we villainize and make the other party the villain and the enemy. We have no country. You understand? You need two parties. Yes, they can have opposing ideas. That's democracy. And they take turns running the country. That's democracy. But both parties love the country. I'm going to say that again. Both parties love the country. There's Republicans that love the country. There's Democrats that love the country. So if you people in your party are spewing out craziness and saying that the other party hates America, I'm telling you to your face, they're lying, and they are the ones that still trying to cause even more division. So when they say that other party hates America, they're the ones that's the problem. So both parties love America. They just have a different way of, of bringing forth and doing the things for the country. So there's a division, but we need to get rid of the hatred between the two parties. It was like a football team. That's stupid. And yeah, this political stuff and a lot of them they eat it up. So that's how they plan on winning. The elections. The other party is evil, so only vote for this party. It's just like a similar to a marriage when a husband and a wife are saying the other person is the enemy. We need both. You need both to make it run. It's not going to run just one party. It needs both. So that you need to understand that both parties love the country. We need both parties to run the country. We need both parties to work together. Yes, we're going to be, they're not going to agree on everything, and that's perfectly fine. They're going to be arguing and yelling and not agreeing. That is perfectly fine. That's the way democracy is supposed to work. We don't supposed to have a dictatorship where one king, quote unquote king, or one party just makes all the rules and do everything for their people that have their opinion. So that's not the way it's supposed to run. And number 5, immigration and border control. There's fear Fear of being replaced. So that's false fear that liars are putting out. They just straight up lie. Immigration and like the border is the problem. Now, do you remember not too long in our distant past when America was wide open and let everybody in, but it was majority Europeans, but it was wide open. Come to America. What the new message, what Statue of Liberty started standing for, welcoming in the poor, the broken, the abused, the people that were suffering in other parts of the world. They were able to come to America to start a new life and help build this new country. But now liars are in control, and so they are putting out fear, telling people they're going to lose their jobs. Uh, that's not. If it shouldn't matter if more people come to the country. That means there needs to be more jobs to take care of. So we got more immigrants. That means we need more houses. We need more cars. We need new schools. We need new shopping centers. We need new stores. We need new restaurants. So the more people come in, the more the economy grows. So there's more opportunities. So if you got whatever job that you have, there should be more jobs available because there's more people here to work to fuel the economy and to create new jobs. But we have that fear and hate. So we decide they're going to take my job. So we need to deport them. Don't make no sense. So then now on the other side, so that's one side, I fear of their job being replaced. And then on the other side, the immigrants, they have that fear of being deported. And some for no reason, or some just for their skin color. So it's fear, like I said, on both sides. One side is false. One side is it was made up. It's a made up fear. Um, Getting people stirred up with they're going to take your job. They're going to take your homes. They are criminals. All of them, millions of people, millions of immigrants are criminals. So that's a big fat lie. Like I said, some of the safest places are immigrant neighborhoods. And then so now all these millions of people, now they're in fear. Even if they did it right, people keep saying they should do it right. They should do it right. So a lot of them are doing it the right way. And those things are being taken away overnight, just by a snap of a finger. Their legal status has been taken away. So you see those people are in fear. Okay, number 6, climate change and natural disasters. Oh, we just saw over the last few months the fires, like California was on fire. I think even on the East Coast, South Carolina, North Carolina, in the Midwest, there's fires. So there's fires, flooding, so many floods going on throughout the country. Hurricanes. Thankfully, we are not in the hurricane season, but we are getting prepared for the hurricane season. So there's hurricanes could be on the way, floods, fires, food instability. So we know like a lot of these with the tariff wars, there's a lot of supplies that's being not a lot of supplies are going to make it to the stores. So those things are not going to make it to your dinner table, not going to make it to the restaurant. So people have that fear. So it's nothing you can do about natural disasters or even climate change or even those type of disasters come. But there are things that you can do if you are in the location and have the means to buy extra and store. It's a difference between storing and being prepared for different types of disasters. And then at the other side, there's people that can hoard different things and taking everything out of stores. So there's a balance. But yeah, people fear hearing the storms coming. Number 7, mental health and the suicide rates have spiked Depression and anxiety has skyrocketed in all communities. The um, what you call it? Like that, we're talking about the Republicans and Democrats and the No-Crats, no party affiliations, all of both parties, all the Americans. There is a mental health issue going on across the country. Like I said, and big, a big reason for that is the unknowing. So many things that people have no idea, they have no idea what's going to happen next. So it causes the anxiety or the loss of jobs, even loss of loved ones that can cause depression. So both sides, doesn't matter what's your skin color, you're going to go through that, or people go through that. And even now, we mentioned before about the mass shootings. So now there's a big tug of war, big argument, a big fight, big fuss about civil rights and gun control. So fear of government coming to get them, fear of being shot, or fear of both. So that doesn't matter which party. So people always say the Democratic Party, they're gonna come take your gun. The Democratic Party can come get your guns. Now it's looking more like the other party, the Republican Party, is going to be the one that's coming to get the guns, not the Democrats. It look like the Republicans. They want you registered and different things. They want to keep track of everybody. And yeah, I see them seem like they would be the party, and it seemed like they would be more forceful. Seem like if the Democrats wanted some control, they would be okay. Come sign here. It's a volunteer thing. But then the Republicans know we're coming to kick your door down. We're kicking we're kicking the door in because we think you got a gun in there. Yeah, that's what's crazy. Um, Number 9, loss of freedom, or no longer having democracy. Yeah, that's the writing is on the wall. One side fears uh, of the government being overthrown. The other fear lawlessness. Both fear of loss of control. So right now we got one party that's in power, that's in total, really seem like kind of like total power. They're in control of the White House, in control of Congress, in control of the Supreme Courts and over the court systems. And they are saying that they are afraid of the other party that really doesn't have any power. So the one in power is acting like the victim. So I guess both are fearing lawlessness. So there is lawlessness going on, and there's a lot of laws being broken right in front of our faces. But it seems like there's nobody, nothing that can be done about it. So both parties are in fear, and they're told to be afraid of the other party. Number 10, AI in the future work, even like robots. Jobs are replaced by machines. No privacy. The future is unclear. So we are kicking out so many immigrants out of the country because of their status, and people thinking that they're going to take their job. I hate to tell it to you like this, but the machines, the AI, and the robots, those are the people that they're not even people. Well, some might look like people, but those are the things that's going to take your job, not the other human beings. Is the AI, the artificial intelligence, the AI, not A1, the AI and robots or animation or different systems that they figure out how to run without a human. You don't have to pay a salary. You don't have to pay health care. You don't have to pay workers' comp. You don't have to pay all those different things that you pay for a human being. So it's cheaper to buy an expensive robot and, pay for that bad boy. You're going to get your money back many times over because you don't have to pay. So we're fearing about somebody's going to take my job, and you're barking up the wrong tree. It's the robots that's going to take your job. So, what different communities? What are they saying? What are they saying in the different communities? So let's break it down a little bit. Let's separate it. That's what some people look like they want separation and segregation back. Yeah, like I said, yes, some people want separation and segregation. They want it back. So, what are the white Americans? What are they right at the moment? What are they afraid of? So there are some of the fears that they say that they are afraid of right now are being forgotten in the changing culture. As a person of color, I don't understand what that means. Being forgotten in the changing culture. I guess I want to ask this question to them if they feel like they're being forgotten in the changing culture. What culture are you bringing to add to the culture? How can you be forgotten if you're continually contributing to the culture? You're contributing to the change. You can't be forgotten if you're part of keeping it moving forward. But if you are not, don't have anything to bring, okay, maybe you might be in the fear of being forgotten. So let's shut down everybody else's because I have nothing to offer. And another fear that they have are losing traditional values. I'm gonna tell you right now, there are some traditional values that need to go away. There are some traditional beliefs that need to go away. So I'm not worried about that. And that's what all parties, all races. But they're saying they want to lose. They're losing their traditional values. Again, I need to talk to uh, a European American to find out what traditional values that they believe that they're going to lose if the country continues to grow. Um, and then they fear of economic status and rural decline. Um, so they think they're going to lose their economic status. Well, I believe that goes back to a lot of uh, the the things that the country has been through over the years, and some races had a head start over others. So so they might feel like their head start has been taken away. Um, that's just life. C'est la vie. Uh, if you have something to use or do or be to stay ahead, that's fine. But yes, the cheating and the stuff that was going on to help people get ahead, yes, that's going to go away. And I think a lot of the policies that's been signed now are trying to bring some of that back, bring some of those, uh, those head starts. Like I said, you've seen a lot of the civil rights that we had have been taken away. The integration of the schools law that was passed that's been taken away. We know um, the being able to have, get a job. What you call it? Well, the big cuss word right now, DE&I. They thinking that's helping people get ahead and leaving other white folks behind. So all these different things, affirmative action. That's the word I was trying to think of. So the affirmative action to try to make this country have an even playing field, they didn't like that, so they got rid of it. They DE&I, again, another device used to make the world equitable, even being able to people with certain handicaps to be able to get a job. See other people with other certain disabilities be able to get a job. They didn't like that. They didn't want a disabled person to get their job. And I think if you're using by going by your abilities, the best man, the best woman shall win. And that's the way D&I was supposed to work. That's the way it was working. But a lot of people, they thought, we're talking about the white um, folks, that they thought that their head start was being taken away. So let's move on to African Americans. What are some of their fears? Some of their fears are police brutality and systematic inequalities. So yeah, police brutality. We know about the Black Lives Matter movement, and I still don't understand. I also still understand. I'm gonna ask white America, why did you not never understood the Black Lives Matter, just that statement, Black Lives Matter. I never got there and protested. I never even bought a Black Lives Matter uh, T-shirt, but I understood what it meant. Some of it veered off to a crazy direction, and I didn't follow them. I didn't go off the deep end, but I understood what it was all about. But if you have not lived as a person of color, you don't understand. Yeah, I guess I'm just answering my question. They just don't understand. They never lived it. They don't understand it, so they feel like um, they're the victim. So the one causing the problems turn around and think of themselves as the victim. So that I believe that's what's going on. So they are always seeing themselves as the victim. They don't see themselves as the issues that they've put upon their ancestors, the people of the past, even during that time when they was even in more power, even more control, they couldn't see the harm that they was doing. They couldn't see how much power they had and how much harm that they caused. So any little thing that was against them, they thought they was the victim. When they started to have equal rights, they thought they was a victim. Anything to try to make things even, they were the victim. So of course, here come Black Lives Matter. They're the victims again. So uh, now Black people are fearful about economy setbacks after gains. Like I said, it goes back again, where we have a lot of these rights, able to get jobs. We had the affirmative action. Affirmative action was not set up to be a cheat and just give all the jobs to the black man and the white man don't get no jobs. That that wasn't the case, and you can look at and see that still it was still majority of white people still had majority of the jobs. So that didn't happen, and so even DE and I, same thing, that didn't happen. But people were lied to. So now a lot of the civil rights and different things are being taken away. A lot of the gains that took years and a lot of blood and sweat to get to that certain point has been taken away. So then, and even now, people of color are fear of being silenced and misunderstood. Yeah, um, they're not even now. We can see the political stuff that's going on. How many people of color you see? Um, I guess they don't want to be there, but a lot of them there are some that want to be there. And they still got kicked out or booted out, not invited. But um, finding out what the true American, what they really feel and what they believe and what they understand, they're not being really not being asked. Um, so they basically people who have fear of people of color and have things against people of color. They're the ones making the changes and making the laws. So that's what African Americans fear. So we went through what the white American and then African American. Now we go to the Latino Americans. What kind of fears are they're going through? The big we know right now. We know the big D word, the deportation. Oh man, I just cannot imagine that the kind of stress and fear they're going through, even legal. So now, if they're saying that legal citizens can be deported, so I can't imagine what stress and pain that they're going through, and then especially all the ones that their loved ones was just snatched off the street, thrown into unmarked cars, and thrown in prison, and then taken out of the country, thrown into another prison where you check in and you don't check out, and your crime, we don't have to. Your skin color's the crime. I can't imagine what they're going through. Um, I used to tell people after they finish harassing them, we next, we next in line. So, they still, yeah, they fear that the deportations and even the ones who was the process of becoming legal citizens. And some people have worked hard doing everything the right way for years. And a lot of their dreams are just getting crushed and destroyed within seconds. So yeah, you have that fear, and you got you got a stable life. Like I said, they're working and being great citizens. They also their language and culture they have fear of that being erased. I know a lot of them, they're not getting recognized for the different things. Even well, that's not only them, even people of color, women. A lot of the history that and things that they have provided for the society, all of that has been, well, a lot of that has been erased. It, it's crazy. Yeah, a lot of the history has been erased. So yeah, Latinos now they're also being blamed for the problems that they didn't create. So imagine you being a productive, citizen. I'm talking legal citizens and other ones who had temporary status and some that didn't have status, but they still acted as in good faith as good American citizens. So imagine going through that and then you still get um, treated like a, a thug, like the enemy. You serve some of it. Like some of them served in the military. Some fought and risked their life for the country, and then that same country turns around and turns their back on them, and let's say we got to deport you. That is crazy. So you see, white America, black America, brown America, even the other races, they all have different types of fear, but at the same time, there are a lot of us have the same fear. So they're afraid of different things for the same reason, and some have different fears. But yeah, we're still in the same country again. They feel unsafe, unheard, and uncertain what the future would be. And some of them could be false. Some of them could be nothing that they've done to cause this. Um, so let's just take a step back, zoom out. While there's fear and division, fear, while we fear division, others fear destruction. So, yeah, we're talking about division. A lot of stuff is getting tore up. A lot of systems, that's what it is. A lot of systems are getting tore up and destroyed. A lot of stuff that took many years to build up and it's getting destroyed within a couple of hours. So many fear bills, others fear bombs. Yeah, some people on that lower level, they're stressed out and have this fear of not being able to make the bills in. Bills. I'm trying to say, not able to pay their bills. But in other countries, they got bombs flying by, stuff getting blown up. So just take a look. Is your bills that important? Where if you was in another country, you can have bombs blowing up outside your house. So we argue over what a person calls themselves. We're making a big deal about what a person calls themselves. And in other countries, they are begging and fighting over one bowl of rice. So they don't even have food. They're starving to death. We're fighting over small fry things. A lot of stuff we're destroying ourselves and causing problems for ourselves when we need to be sticking together. We need everybody. We need every single Black American, any other race, anybody that wants to come to this country, and even the immigrants, everybody should be embraced and seeing what can you do to help make this a better country if we was a welcoming country. But that's not the answer. That's not what they want right now. So look, in Gaza and Ukraine, children sleep with the bombs dropping all around them. it's just it's crazy, especially in Gaza. Just to say anything positive about Gaza seems like that's enough to get you thrown in jail. When when I pray for the Israelis and the Palestinians. The Palestinians are not the one that the Hamas is the one that's doing the fighting, not these innocent people, not these innocent children. Yeah, like I said, that's probably enough to. If I said that on a school campus, the ICE would be outside right then, ready to take me out. So that's what's crazy. We can't even say stuff like that, and we're no longer in a free country. What about over in Sudan, where all many cities have no food, no power, no safety? So it's a free for all. Like that, we were uh, God's people, and was sending some help and food around the world. We decided we don't want to help people no more. So we rather knowing knowing that these people are starving to death. We knowing that some of this food was like the only food that they had. That's the only food that they had to stay alive. And we decided, I think we wasted money, so we're not going to send it over there. So we're just going to let the people starve. So what about Haiti? We know that all the violence that's going on in Haiti, but a lot of the stuff in the past, our country created systems. We created issues. So a lot of people are in these unstable governments. A lot of times we are the ones that we're the ones that made it happen. We're the ones that made it happen. In Venezuela, money is worth less than toilet paper. Their money is worth less than toilet paper. You know, that can happen with us any day now too. So you think you got some money, and then just the switch of a switch, your money could be worthless. There was that one country where their economy shot down so bad that it took millions of dollars of their dollars to just buy a loaf of bread. That's how bad, the economy, the money just dropped. I think slowly that's happening here. But we still in the country. We still have the freedom to complain. And that's still a privilege. That's a privilege. And look like, like it's trying to be taken away. A lot of countries don't have that. A lot of countries don't have the ability to complain and poke fun and joke about different things. So a lot of people, they can get shot for stuff. So we still have the freedoms. Look like it's real close to being taken away, but we still have it. But for God's people, the final word, God's people are covered. Yea, though I walk through a valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. So God is going to be with you. God is with you. So no matter what's going on around you, God is going to be with you. And yes, the world feels like it's falling all apart all around you. Like I said, we first started. Every day, the news, like me, I get up in the morning, like, what done happened now? I try to get my prayer in before I get to social media. But every time I wake up, what done happened now? What's been taken away? What new law is out there now that's taking away some kind of right? So you can't keep on getting more laws. You can't keep getting more punishments and stuff without losing some rights. For them to get more power, we got to lose rights. So every day, if they're getting more and more power, that means we're having less and less rights. So we got to keep an eye on the different things that one day it might be our right, the next day that right has been taken away. We got to keep an eye on it. So it feels like all heck is all around us. But for those who walk with God, you got hope, you got peace. There's peace in the middle of chaos. So that's why sometimes I get a little stressed out when I see different things, and I could just shake my head or read something and run and tell my wife, and then she come in here and tell me something. I was like, it's just unbelievable how many things are going on, but we still have peace. I still have peace. So I pray that upon you. And sometimes, like, how do people live without God, without the peace of God? I don't understand. How can they do it? Um, so if you're His, you are covered. You don't have to worry. He's got you. So that's why we had a class tonight teaching about preparation. Preparation for what? So we had our first part was paperwork, making sure your paperwork was in order. We know that the deadline was that yesterday to have that. Not today. Well, was it today? I forgot. So many different dates. But the real ID. No, this is 17. Is that the 17th? Anyway, everybody's supposed to have the real ID. Um, so passports. If you're able to get a passport, get your passport. So you should have all your paperwork being able to be grabbed at at the drop of a dime. So we suggested, and one of my suggestions is to get a fireproof and a waterproof safe to put all your valuables, your very important paperwork, your birth certificates, your social security cards, any other paperwork for your houses, different things like that. Put all that in a fireproof safe. We know a lot of those things that kind of like fire resistant, but you still need to have your paperwork. Remember when they had all those fires in California? Even the banks, people they had the stuff in your safe deposit box. A lot of these people's that safe deposit box got burned up. So if you're keeping something at your house, let's go ahead and have a fireproof safe, fireproof. They even have these bags. So if you don't want to get the safe, there are these bags. So I say fireproof and waterproof. Especially here in Florida, the threat of fire is not as great as other places, but the flooding, the hurricane. So the water damage is the one that we look for. We have here in Florida. So I suggest waterproof bags or waterproof safe, and put all your valuable in there. And my friend at church, she have this book. So she have a photo album. So the photo album, instead of having pictures, she had all her paperwork in there, and passwords, bank accounts, deeds, any important information. Have it all in that one book of life. If something happens to her, and they don't, their family members don't have to go all over the house trying to find this paperwork. And I guess I need to work on that too. I got some of the paperwork is where it's supposed to be, some is not. So it's all in one book, one location. So if something happens to her, they can go grab her book of life. And if her husband might have, um, he can have put stuff in the same book. If he got some other information, he want to put in another book. Okay, so be it. So he got his book. So I imagine all your family members, you got a book with all your information in there. So if something happens to you, you just go to that book and grab everything. Then one of her suggestions is to photocopy, take pictures of everything. And also, when you take a picture of everything, you can put a lot of your information on a thumb drive. Well, I say multiple thumb drives. Like if a disaster strikes at one location, maybe another, you can have maybe put your information on a thumb drive and have it at a sibling's house or one of your children's houses, and also have this information on online, on the web, in the cloud. So if stuff really go down, you lose everything. It's still on the cloud. You still got access to the information on the cloud. And then another sister, she talked about getting prepared as far as food, storing food. Uh, water. So having non-perishable foods. You know what happened when COVID hit. Those shelves were empty. Trucks were not rolling in. So we think we're good right now, but we see that that's how it's up in the air about the ports. So I see some stories saying the ports are empty. Then I see another report saying the ports are not empty. But either way, there's a day that's coming where the stores shelves are going to be empty, and we are telling you now to go ahead and get prepared to have something when those shelves go empty. All right, and also, um, so yeah, the food and the water, any other supplies, and then I did presentation about other like devices that you may need, um, flashlights, plenty of flashlights, generators, or even electronic, uh, electronic, solar powered generators, um, water. I told, I spoke about how when you see a lot of the information about water, they tell you at least one person needs 1 gallon of water a day to survive. Okay, but what about all the other water that you use throughout the day? So I asked the question, how many sources, well, I'm not saying not how many sources, how many things does a person use water on throughout the day? So I had people, they started thinking about it, and some started yelling out the answers. So my answer was 7. On average, there are 7 things that one person uses water on every day. But that 1 gallon of water per person is not going to cover all those 7 things that we use water for. It's just not going to cut it. So that's why we suggest we need these big old water containers. Again, especially if we see that there might be some times where we're not going to have access to water, or if the power goes out, it won't be too much long. If power stays out for too long, it's going to get to the point where the water is not going to keep flowing, and the sewage and stuff is going to get backed up. So you're not going to be able to use the facilities inside your residence. But so anyway, you still need a water supply, and way more water than kind of like what they're telling us. But at 1 gallon per person, yeah, that might be we're preparing just for a couple of days. But it could be some, if what they keep talking about, the power grid going down. But I keep hearing people saying that about the power grid goes down. If the power grid goes down, that means the power is going to be out for an extended period of time, and that means uh, the power is going to be out, and eventually the water is going to stop flowing. So I think so. If your power goes out, that's your sign. Start getting ready. If you got some containers that you need some water, you need to start filling right then. I would suggest you even do it before then. But yeah, have your water, and if you are storing water and different things, make sure it's not in heat and not in direct sunlight. And um, I had to do a whole lesson on that to go through all the different things. But here here in Florida, we prepare for the hurricanes every year, and majority of the stuff that I'm talking about is the same stuff that we already do. So you should always still maybe have some of your stuff left over from from last year, previous years. You might have your stuff already. So that's what when the sister said about having your go bag. You got a bag that's ready to go, and then or you got the bag that's nearby. A bag that's by your important information, and when something go down, just grab that bag, throw all your important stuff in there, and go. Sometimes you're not going to have that long to make a move. But far as prepping, getting food and different things, that's That's another story. If you got everything prepared at your house, then you got to turn around and leave your house. So you done left your comfort zone. You done left where everything is supposed to be. But basically, if something go down, the safest place for you to be really is in your home. We were talking about how your family members need to have a plan. Have a plan if something happens. I've had a couple of family meetings. I need to have some more, but this time around, have actual uh, plans. So we have like some general discussions, and I was really trying to get people to think about the subject. Think about it. Think about, are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you ready? Just imagine if one person in your family passes away, what's the plan for each one? What's the plan? What we're going to do? Do we have a plan? If something happens and everybody's not home, do we have a plan on catching back up, even when we don't have any communications? That's I talked about getting a ham radio. So if all the TVs and the radios and cell phones and stuff start working, you have your ham radio probably still going to be working. So anyway, we had a lot of different tips like that about how to get ready, to be prepared, like I said, for the storms or anything. We would one of my main things, we're not doing anything in fear. So we're still going to walk in our purpose. God gave you a purpose, so you're going to continue to move in your purpose, but you still got to prepare. You still got to prepare. So you're still walking in purpose, but preparing. Live for the best, prepare for the worst. So that's it. Just get ready. I think if people ask, we can get together and go over those different things that I think a lot of people don't think about. I think I mentioned, like I said, when I told people how much more water that you might need. I guess I can go through them real quick. Where's my time at? Where's my time? About time to go. Yeah, I'm gonna go through the water. Like I said, on TV, they're always telling us to get 1 gallon of water per person per day. But think about it, I thought of 7, a little bit more. But as far as I didn't bring my notes. As far as eating and drinking, that's 1, and cooking, that's 2. Washing your face, brushing your teeth, washing yourself, that's 3. Washing dishes and your clothes, using the bathroom, that's a big one, and feeding your pets. People might forget about the pets. And if you got a garden, you still need to continue to water your garden. If you don't water your garden, you don't have no food. So that's another. So that you see all those different sources of water that one individual uses a day. So just that 1 gallon. So a storm is coming, and you got 5 or 6 gallons of water sitting over in the corner somewhere, and power going to be out for a week. That water not going to last you no time. So I just wanted people to think. Yeah, I haven't seen people prepare for a storm. They had like 2 gallons of water. That's it. And thankfully, the storm didn't last long. But just 2 little gallons of water. Oh, I forgot to go to the store. I forgot. See, man, they can be coming. If you prepare, they can be coming knocking on your door. So you better teach them and show them that they need to go get prepared for themselves also. All right. So we just went over a bunch of things about how Americans, different types of Americans have different fears. And we're still Americans. So we still should be looking out for each other. Plan for the best, prepare for the worst. So continue to live your life, but also get stuff ready. All right. Don't walk in fear. Don't live in fear. Thank you for your time. Let me know what we want to talk about next time. All right. Be blessed. Shalom. Lil Joe out.